2 Canadian women are back in this country after an ordeal in Somaliland, a self-declared independent country inside Somalia. Mona Abdi and Karima Watts are from Ottawa. They spent months in jail in Somaliland, accused of possessing alcohol, and they were threatened with 40 lashes as punishment. But a judge did set them free, and for the latest, we turn to the CBC's Natalie Nanowski, who was at Toronto's Pearson International Airport when they arrived, and she explains why the women were in Somaliland in the first place and why they were arrested.
They tell me that both of them have ties to the region. Some of their family is still there. And Mona, the woman who you heard from in that top clip, has done a lot of work with NGOs here in Canada. She's also worked with a lot of women's rights groups. So for her, she says it was very important to go back to the region and work with some of the women there. In October, she bought a ticket. She landed. She wasn't working with any NGO. She wasn't affiliated with anyone. She was really just working on a grassroots level, completely by herself, working with women who were being forced into marriage. A few months later, in January, her friend Karima joined her. That's when I'm told from the women that the situation had grown very tense. Authorities and local tribal leaders were becoming really upset that Mona was meddling in local issues. A few days later, they were invited to a party and police raided the party, throwing the 2 women into jail, accusing them of consuming alcohol. The 2 women spent time in jail. They spent over 2 months. They said that they were abused, they were denied food, they were denied water. Today, she spoke to the media when she landed. That's Mona. And she told us that even though she's so traumatized by the experience, it really hasn't broken her spirit. Have a listen.
It will take a long time to put back together the pieces of ourselves, but that process begins with getting home. Even in that process, we will not be silent. We look forward to speaking out further about the torture, harassment that we experienced.
So that is what we heard from them. Did they have anything to say about their release? Because in addition to the time in jail, as we say, they were sentenced to some 40 lashes.
Right. So they never received those 40 lashes. And what I'm being told both by the women and one of the women here, a woman who works at an NGO in Toronto, her name is Shirley Gillette, who is really working on behalf of the women to get them back into Canada. So all 3 of those women tell us that it was really the media's influence that helped budge the government, because the women were thrown inside in jail. One of the women's mothers contacted the media, telling the media the entire story. Somaliland officials got wind of what was going on. And you have to remember, as you mentioned, this is a self-declared state. They really want to gain independence from Somalia, become an official country. So they got word of this, the fact that the Canadian media was talking about these 2 girls going into jail, and all of a sudden we're told that the charges were completely dropped. Have a listen.
The judge basically said that there was no They had no charges first for several months, and then when they were brought to court, they were basically just charged with drinking alcohol, and the judge said there was absolutely no proof that they had drank alcohol or even that there had been any alcohol at the place. So we do believe that it was related to that.
So, Michael, they're not looking too much further into that. Both of them told me over breakfast, a breakfast where cameras were not allowed, that they're just really happy to be home. They're going to be spending the next few days just with some family here. And right now they're just heading to hospital to get assessed. And then after that, just take it a day at a time.